Alright, get the fuck out. We got a podcast.
Y'all gotta get out of here, man. Yeah. This is awkward.
This is intellectual.
This is intellectuals only.
Yeah. Thanks, though, for helping.
Thanks for the help.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, it's finally time for the podcast.
Fucking podcast now.
Finally time to turn in this assignment. 2 weeks late.
2 weeks late. About 6 o'clock, November 13th.
November 13th, 6 o'clock.
So we decided.
We took us a while to come up with what we were going to do on this podcast, but we finally decided that we have a globe here and we would just spin it like this. We're going to touch a country, not an ocean, and then we got Russia.
Man, fuck Russia.
Right, and then we just talk about that country as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
This might be a little stereotypical, and we might say some things that aren't true.
Or racist.
And
comes without saying. Mother Russia.
Mother Russia. What are we?
Country of communism.
Hold on, I can't put my hands in my pants doing this.
Why is your globe so dusty?
Don't spray my globe. It's made out of cardboard. Stop! It's made out of cardboard.
Why do you have a cardboard
This
globe?
is what globes are made of. So Russia.
Russia.
What I know about Kirill, a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And his.
Hey, shout out to my nigga Fish.
Fish. Yeah,
he's
his parents speak Russian. He speaks Russian. It's a very strange language. You know, they got a whole different alphabet, and
it always sounds like they're a little
completely
mad.
different. They always sound mad. That is true.
Yeah.
They can say some sweet things, and it'll just sound
like, "Oh my God, you look beautiful today," and it'd be like, it sounded like they were threatening you.
It sounded like they were gonna send you the gulags.
Hate to go back.
Just looking at Russia here, it's like a lot of it is located, like all the big cities. Probably most of the population is located on the western half, like in the European half, which is a little weird. But like, there's not a lot going on the eastern half of Russia.
Russia's actually huge.
Yeah, Russia's massive. It's in Asia and Europe, which is pretty cool. Like, you got some Asians over here, and you got some Russians over here. Like, it touches China.
Is there like Asians in Russia?
Well, most of Russia is in Asia.
Damn, it really be like that.
Yeah, I know, and it's cool to think about that. Like, Russia touches, like, it touches a lot. It's like in Europe, but it also touches China and Japan, pretty much, and Alaska. So it just stretches. It's like pretty much half. Yeah, it's pretty much half the globe. Really, I'm just looking at it right here, and that's pretty cool. That's Russia.
About.
And like, it's up in the Arctic too. It's just a pretty cool country. It's probably pretty cold, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All they're missing is some tropics. That's probably why they hate us so much. Alrighty.
Let me put the finger on it.
Ah!
I landed on an island. You eat it.
Iran, yo! Alright, yo!
Oh man, we've had a good time in Iran in the past few years.
I've never been there.
I know our troops have. So what? What's that whole war about? This is the.
Oh yeah. What is the war in Iran about? We're not really sure, to be completely honest. What the fuck are y'all doing back down here? What did I tell you?
We're trying to
ruin our podcast. It's over.
Wow. Talking about 9/11.
Wow. I'm embarrassed.
No respect.
This is embarrassing.
I looked over, they were like, "Hey, y'all got oil?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah, that's
so we went in there.
Personally, that's what I think it's about. I don't think it's about Al Qaeda and all that. I think it was a great excuse to go in there and take control of some oil fields.
Yeah, boom, some oil.
There was the Gulf War. I don't actually know what that's all about. I don't hear about it hardly at all. In fact, we got this handy little computer here to look it up and learn a little bit. That's that intellectual part.
Oh, Call of Duty, bro.
Oh, Gulf.
Have you not tried this pie yet, though?
No, I haven't tried my dad's pie. Yeah. Oh, wow. So the Gulf War actually took place 10 years before 9/11. It's a little funny. Well, we didn't even go into Iran. It says it was in Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Oh, wait, no. There's 30 more combatants I can view. One sec.
Niger.
It's not funny. Iran was not involved in the Gulf War, which is kind of funny because it's like right there.
It's like right there.
And
we don't want none of that.
Apparently, we're in there right now. I think
we got troops out there, right? Like so.
In that area, the Middle Eastern, which brings up another good point. Is like we're not really quite sure what our country is involved in these wars. We don't really know what's going on, why we're in there, where we are, who we're fighting. I couldn't tell you what the Iraq war, who we fought. Did we fight Iraq? I don't know. Like, apparently we're training some, like, governments in there. We overthrew somebody, didn't we?
Did?
Yeah.
Who did we overthrow?
Saddam Hussein?
Oh, did we just clap that dude?
Maybe. We overthrew some government. I remember that from the Kite Runner. But yeah, that's very interesting. It's interesting to see how it plays out once we start voting, if we can help change that at all. Because I really don't feel like we need to be in there. But what do I know? I'm a 17-year-old kid sitting in my basement right now recording a podcast.
Be like that.
Yeah, this is
turning in a project that's 2 weeks late.
2 weeks late projects. I really shouldn't be the one coming up with governmental decisions.
The wars are involved. Oh no! All I know is that I know people are dying out there.
People are dying, and I don't even know why or where. Spinning the globe.
Alright, anyway, looks like nothing happened.
Damn, I landed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, the Azores, Portugal. We landed on Portugal, is you?
I don't know anything about Portugal.
I know quite a
you
bit about
know
Portugal.
about Portugal.
Yeah.
You just told me there's a lot of trains
All
there.
drugs are legal.
Huh.
Yeah, you actually wrote an essay
I actually wrote a paper about
You
that.
should know a little bit
I know
about
a little
Portugal.
bit about this.
Yeah.
Oh, that was deep though. Alright, so I don't know, they had a drug problem over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the kind of place who'd have a drug problem.
Yeah, probably opium.
God.
Oh shit.
Alright.
Anyway, they had a drug problem over there.
Yeah.
Probably opium, like every country in the world. And
That goddamn opium.
the goddamn opium really be snagging people. And they're like, I don't know what to do about it, but like, let's just try making it all okay. And so they did it. They made everything okay. You can have any drug on you.
Really?
Any drug on you. And then they, along with opening up, along with making all the drugs legal, they also opened up a bunch of rehab centers and such.
Oh, that's good.
Made it easy to for people that were struggling with their drug use to get off of it. But yeah, so they went from having pretty hefty sentences or fines for any amount of a drug, and to just making it okay, no matter what you got.
And I really agree with that way of going, because a lot of people who get addicted to drugs, and they get addicted, I mean, there's not much they can do about it. Like, you can die from just quitting opium cold turkey. And they get addicted, and they can't really reach out for help because it's illegal, and they're going to go to jail for that. Which is why I like what Portugal did, because that way, if people are like, okay, I have this issue, I can't stop unless I'll die, and I can't keep going because then I'll die. And so they're just like, all right, I need help, and so they go get help, and they don't have to worry about repercussions or anything like that. Unlike here, where you're going to be sent to jail and forced to quit cold turkey.
Oh, and as a result of that, Portugal now has the lowest number of overdoses in the world in a country that has a substantial population.
Wow. Would you look at that?
Huh.
Went from having a major drug problem to the least drug problem.
The best drug problem. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, they got the best drug problem.
The best drug problem over there.
They do have a lot of trains there, which you don't like.
I don't like trains, man. I don't know about that.
Definitely afraid of trains. The North Pacific Ocean. Great place, biggest ocean.
Yeah, fat ocean, lots of water.
Lots of water. You can get lost out here forever. Like, especially the South Pacific part. There's just a big, huge section. I've heard like stories about that part of the ocean before, and how people can just drift out there for like months. And
The South Pacific?
Yeah, the South Pacific. It's the biggest, just expansive ocean there is.
Is that where? Have you ever heard of that? What's it called? I think it's called like Point Nemo.
No, never heard of it.
I don't know. It's the point in the world out in the water where you're
Oh,
absolutely furthest away from land.
You're closer to the ISS than to any other humans.
Yeah,
Yeah, it probably is in the South Pacific.
it makes sense. Probably just like right.
Probably like right
Yeah.
right there or some. Probably life threatening.
North
That's
Atlantic.
another ocean. We're gonna keep spinning. Japan!
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 Land of the weeaboos! Alright.
What do we know about Japan? They have a very low crime rate, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have really strict gun laws over there.
Well, even if they did not have those, I feel like they would still have a low crime rate because their culture is just different. Right. See, this is where we're not talking from facts anymore, and we're just kind of going into what we've heard. So there might be some racist things said in here, not intentionally. We're not being intentionally racist. I love probably the country I want to go to the most. Thanks, sweetheart. So I'm not racist. It's just ignorance. It's just ignorance.
I'm really interested in what you're about to say.
I'm not even gonna say anything bad. I'm just throwing up.
I swear, I'm not racist.
I swear I'm not
racist,
but they definitely deserve the ball.
That's racist.
No. I got nothing against Japan.
All right, what do we know about Japan? All I can really
You're gonna say weeaboo shit, aren't you?
No, I was gonna say some intellectual shit about. I don't know. All I really know about Japan comes from World War II. That's all I really cared about.
Yeah, they got this big thing with honor.
Yeah, they do.
Which is I really like. That's very. I like that. I wish we had that here in America. It's just like
I agree with the honor thing.
Everybody just wants to do the right thing because it's honorable.
Are they the ones that had the honor thing where they would kill themselves if they were
the
seppuku? Seppuku.
Sudoku?
That's the game, man. I think it's like seppuku. Should ask Collins all this.
Then. Yeah,
they just stab themselves.
If they feel like they dishonored their family or whatever, they would go cut their guts out, and it's very painful and very disturbing way to die, and that's just how they would do it.
For honor, man.
I remember watching this movie. I don't know what it was called. I think it was 13 Assassins or something like that, and the opening scene is just some lord cutting his guts out. It was brutal. It was gruesome. Middle when they were traveling, and then they got to this city, and they just turned it into a death city, and that part was gruesome and totally awesome. It made the entire movie worth watching. I have to check that out. It's in Japanese. That's another thing about Japan. Their language is so complex. I could never even hope to learn it.
Is it really complex?
Yeah, you seen their characters? They don't got letters.
I don't know. I always hear these things about languages being complex, but I'm always told English is the hardest to learn, so I don't take it that to heart. Just because apparently our language is really difficult.
I didn't even have to try and learn English. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. I had to put more effort into learning Spanish, and that was my first language.
Your mom speak English yet? Ow! What's in your pocket?
Keys, boy.
We're gonna have so much shit to edit out.
So much shit. Anyways, Japan. So all I really know about Japan is from World War II. And let's see. They got involved with the Pearl Harbor attack. Mm-hmm. Is that right? When they just kind of bombed the shit out of Hawaii. Oh, yeah. We also dropped the first 2 nuclear bombs on Japan.
The only 2 nuclear bombs ever used in combat.
Both in Japan.
Both in Japan. Both by the United States of America. Which just so happens to be where we are right now.
Yeah, we nuke people.
Well, coming at you live from the USA.
Anyways, so why do we do that again? Oh, yeah, that's right. We needed Japan to get out of the war, and we didn't want to invade them.
Yeah, because that's costly to both sides.
We didn't. You have to start up an invasion, and a bunch more people got to die.
So we just decided to.
So we're just didn't we drop a bunch of flyers? We're like, hey, surrender.
Yeah, we were like, yo, surrender, because we got some big little boy and a fat man. Fat man.
Fat boy, big man, something like that. I don't know.
Big man, little boy.
Yeah. Anyways, the nukes and
little pump.
They're like, hell no, honor. Oh no. And then we just nuked them.
And we killed a ton of civilians.
Tons of civilians.
Hundreds of thousands of civilians.
Yeah, and I guess that was enough for them to not want to participate in the war anymore.
Yeah, they were like, yo.
They're like, yo, just don't do that again.
Don't do that again, man. You're fine. I'm sorry. Yeah.
What was the time? How much time was there between the 2 bombs?
It was like a day, wasn't it?
Really?
I don't know. I feel like this is
3 days?
Something that we can easily look up with this handy-dandy computer we have sitting right in front of us.
But we're just not going to do it. 1 to 3 days, that's my guess.
I really want to know now.
Alright, look it up. It's fine. We'll do it.
Oh my god, Israel. It was 3 days.
I knew it!
Oh, wow.
In fact, the only reason I knew that is because I read a story on Reddit about a guy that was present for both of them. And I think it was 3 days later he was in Nagasaki.
Damn, that was rough. He survived both, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Imagine that. Like, you see the first nuclear bomb, right?
You're just
Like,
holy
terrifying. It's the flash of light.
Holy
And
shit.
then everything is wrecked. And then you're like, shit, man, I survived that. And you're like, anyways, I can't work here anymore because I got nuked. I gotta go find my new job in Nagasaki.
When you pull up Nagasaki, you're like, wow, this is a beautiful city. This is definitely one of the wonders of the world. I would hate if it was ever destroyed. And then another plane flies by and drops a massive bomb. And it kills everyone. All your new friends, all your new neighbors are dead. Why would you do that? Like, if you just got nuked twice, like, I'd be terrified. I'd move to the countryside.
Honestly, man, if you survive 2 nukes...
I'd probably buy the lottery.
Yeah, I'd be like...
I'd play the lotto, although probably at that point in the war, Japan did not have money to be given away.
Anyways, let's give it a whirl.
Oh, another whirl. Whirl on the burl. Let's flip it upside down this time. Oh, that's all ocean. That was the most miserable tap. Wow!
Imperial Globe!
It says the George F. Cram Company's Imperial Globe. You clicked on the only logo on the entire thing. That's the Pacific. That's the Atlantic Ocean.
The North.
Canada!
Yo, I love that place.
Didn't we start off the video with Canada? We got Russia.
Russia, man. Fuck Russia. That's Japan.
Brazil!
Brazil!
Home to the famous hit movie from Disney, Rio. Which they actually named a city. They named a city after the movie Rio.
Like the one in the movie. Huh? They speak Portuguese?
Yeah, they speak Portuguese in Brazil.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How far away is Portugal from Brazil?
There's Brazil. There's Portugal.
Whack.
Yeah, it's whack. Actually, the Portuguese guys, the explorers, back when they were exploring all those countries in America, they found Brazil and they were like, yo, let's just bring a bunch of slaves here and make a bunch of sugar and get rich. And so that's what they did, and then Brazil got independent somehow.
Yeah, I don't know much about Brazil.
I know they got some gangs and some slums there. I remember reading the story about the World Cup and like how it was a little weird that they were having this big, huge event, grand event there. And meanwhile, there's people in the slums being stacked up in these tire structures that they can't get out of and just doused in gasoline and burned in gang-related violences.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Alright, let's spin the globe!
That's the extent of our Brazil knowledge. It's terrible. Brazil's...
Oh, wait, I thought I went to the...
Why'd you do that? It's fine.
United States of America!
It's right here!
Turns out that's where I live. If you take a look around, this is what the USSA is like.
Okay.
Oh, Alexa, turn the TV on. My favorite thing is though is like when I'm watching TV on my computer or something, and then an Alexa commercial comes on. And since my dad works for Amazon, I got Alexas in every single room of the house, at least one. And so an Alexa commercial will come on, and the guy in the video will be like, Alexa, and then every single Alexa in my house will just go off and be like, I didn't quite get that. Can you repeat that? And I'll just, oh my god, and then they start talking. It's horrible.
Alright, USA.
USA. A lot of controversial stuff going on in the USA with our government.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a president that a lot of people don't like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lives in the White House.
Yeah, isn't he going to get in trouble soon or potentially get in trouble soon? I don't like it. Alright, see, I don't follow this, but
I don't follow this either.
What I'm gathering from when I pay attention to Mattis and what I hear other people say is that apparently some sketchy shit went down in order for him to become the president. And these people that helped him in that process are just getting nailed. Getting caught.
That's what I'm really confused about.
They're being like, yeah, man, I did it. And so, like, is eventually going to lead up to Trump getting nailed?
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of stuff going on. Like, I'll just open up the news, and it's like a bunch of obstruction of justice stuff, and tons of people, like, around Trump, like, including his son and some people related to him, are, like, being indicted or whatever for allegations of, like, working with the Russian government for the things and obstruction of justice. And I'm just very confused. Like, I don't really understand how the impeachment process works at all, but I feel like by now, with all this stuff that's coming out, it should have been started already.
Right. Like, let's keep him in there.
Yeah, what's keeping him in there? I feel this like a
I don't know,
lot.
maybe
of,
it runs deeper than we think. Like
a
maybe
lot,
he's
lot
got
of
more
stable
people
stuff.
logged down. You know, like
Or maybe they're just trying to get some like hardcore
Hard
evidence.
evidence.
Yeah, that's my guess. Is they're just like, all right, let's make sure if we're gonna do this, we do it right.
Right. That makes sense.
Because I can imagine that if they tried to do it and he got away with it, or it turns out he wasn't doing it, which let's be real here, he wasn't doing it. But there would be some big uproar in the United States. All the Trump supporters would go crazy.
What's going on with us in Russia? What happened there? Something with election in Russia? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how Russia's involved in our election. But
Apparently
I've heard things
they
about it.
tampered with our election. You know, there was a lot of ads going around during the campaign, like Crooked Hillary and all that stuff. Apparently there was just ton of bots on Facebook posting things like propaganda type things, and there were Russian bots, and Russia was giving Trump money or something like that. That's what I know. Also, like voting machine hacking allegations and stuff like that.
And all like the voter fraud stuff we got going on now.
Yeah, voter fraud. It's
The government's kind of messed up right now. Huh?
yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on, but another thing is, I'm just wondering if.
Anyways, what's going on with our country?
Yeah, we got a lot of mass shootings.
Oh, that's
I
right.
really want to know what's up with that because
Yeah. Like, does this happen
I
anywhere
read
else?
no. I read a statistic. Well, unless you go to like Somalia where there's just pirates everywhere. But no, not in a civilized, not in a first world country, in a world superpower like ourselves. It just seems a little out of character. And I'm just really curious as to what's going on there because I read a statistic that these are not actual numbers, but like 300 out of the past 307 days there's been a mass shooting. And I'm just really curious as to what has sparked all of these shootings to occur. What is getting people angry to the point where they feel the need to walk around with guns and kill as many people as possible?
Right. You heard about the bar shooting in Cali a few days ago?
Yeah, there was a few. You know. I read this one story where it was like a shooting at a mall, and there was a black like security guard or police officer like trying to help out. When the police showed up, they shot him,
What?
which was very sad. That was a terrible story.
You know, there was a shooting a few weeks ago. This was actually back when I had my like staff thing going, so like late summer.
Yeah.
There was a shooting at a freaking Madden tournament. You hear about that?
I heard about that.
And you know who the shooter was? It was a guy that was salty that he lost. He just got booted and he came back and just killed a bunch of people at the tournament.
There are some fucked up people in this country. That's for sure. Like, there has to be something wrong with that guy's brain. I just feel like we should do something about this, and just like people who are like that, first of all we should find a way to tell if they are like that. That would be a great first step.
I think something like this is where gun restrictions come in.
Yeah, gun restrictions, not a ban on guns. People can have their guns, but not everybody should have their guns. Like a guy who gets mad at Madden and then decides to shoot up a tournament. That guy should not own a gun. Don't at me. Don't come at me, NRA. That guy should not have a gun. You cannot argue against that.
That's facts. But yeah, you know a trend I noticed a lot is that I feel like other than this Madden player, is that a lot of the times they're ex-military, aren't they? I feel like you kind of see that a lot.
I actually haven't read anything about that, or I didn't pay attention.
I don't know. Because I know the last one in Cali, that guy was ex-military.
I feel like there's a lot of things that can go wrong with your brain when you're in the military, getting shot at on a regular basis. So, I mean, I'm not justifying his actions, but there's a big chance that something was just knocked loose or screwed up from his time in the military.
You know what
It's still fucked, though. They're definitely screwed up.
You know, I feel like ever since like, what was like the first two like really big shootings in this country, like the school shootings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking what was it?
Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook and Columbus.
Maybe.
Columbus. I don't know. Like I feel like they got a lot of attention on that. You know, there's documentaries and such on that. And I feel like one thing, like I don't know, it's kind of a guess, kind of a theory from me, is that maybe that a lot of these people do it for attention that it gets, because it does get a lot of attention.
It does get a lot of attention.
It's a ton
Not
of attention.
anymore, though, because apparently there's mass shootings that just don't get covered because they're happening literally every day. Was there one today?
I don't know.
Let's consult the
Look
Great
at-
Chromebook.
look at-
Oh,
look
man.
at- Was there a mass shooting today?
All right, bets.
Bets.
I'm
I'm gonna bet
going
against.
with no. Oh,
Really?
you're going with no, too?
Yeah. I want to have a little faith in our country today.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard anything about that. I go on Reddit quite often and hear a lot.
Not look like it.
What is? Oh, that's the Onion. Okay.
The
The article was NRA publishes tips for staying safe while committing a mass shooting. No, here's the one. Black security guard shot dead by police after preventing a mass shooting.
That's terrible.
That's just really awful. Damn, he looked like quite a good-looking guy.
Pretty handsome.
Had some clout.
A lot of clout.
Yeah, he was working at an armed security guard at a bar in Chicago. He asked a group of men who were very drunk to leave the bar. Then the men came back. One of them had a gun and began shooting. The security guard fired back and caught one of the men outside of the bar. He had the suspect down on the ground at gunpoint when two police officers responding to 911 calls arrived on the scene, and one of the officers shot and killed him. That's just horrible. I don't even want to talk about that. Do you think we have enough content?
We can definitely call it here.
Alright, bye, Miss Little.
Alright, bye, Miss Little. Hope you enjoy it.
Actually, talked about things. I don't want to put all this away. This is staying in.